Welcome to the Exchanged Life Podcast Network with your host, Dr. Stephen Phinney. Today, we will dive deep into the journey of discovering and living from our true identity in Christ. This isn't just another Christian podcast, it's a space where we explore what it means to exchange our old life for the indwelling life of Jesus, and how that transformation touches every aspect of our story. Whether you're wrestling with grief, navigating cultural confusion, or simply hungry for deeper truth, this podcast is for you. Each episode is rooted in biblical clarity, prophetic insight, and the conviction that Christ in you is not just theology, it's the foundation of your identity, purpose, and hope. So, pull up a chair, open your heart, and let's walk together into the fullness of the exchanged life. You're not alone, and you were never meant to live from self. Let's discover what it means to live from Him. Let's dive in. Meet today's guest.
Welcome to IOM America's Truthstream's podcast network. Today's episode is My American Story. Greetings, I'm Brooks Wilder, narrator for Dr. Stephen Phinney. Outside my office building, the American flag stands tall and unwavering, a daily reminder of the freedoms I cherish and the covenant that shaped this nation. Its presence greets every visitor with dignity and purpose, declaring that this is a place anchored in truth, honor, and legacy. Inside my office, another flag holds its place with reverence, positioned not as decoration, but as a symbol of allegiance to the Constitution and the values it represents. These flags are more than fabric. They are silent witnesses to my calling, my convictions, and my commitment to uphold the principles upon which this republic was founded. I still remember the crisp morning air and the quiet reverence that settled over our small schoolyard as we began each day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Standing tall with my hand over my heart, I joined my classmates in declaring loyalty to the flag and the republic it represents, a ritual that shaped my understanding of honor, unity, and freedom. But nothing compared to the deep sense of pride I felt when I was chosen to raise the American flag in front of the school building. Gripping the rope, watching the stars and stripes ascend into the sky, I felt the weight of responsibility and the privilege of representing something far greater than myself. It was a sacred moment, one that etched patriotism into my soul and reminded me that even as a child, I was part of a nation worth standing for. This was important in my childhood. In fact, one of the most meaningful gestures my mother ever made was changing my birthday celebration from June 13th to June 14th, Flag Day, as a tribute to the American flag and the values it represents. She believed that aligning my special day with the symbol of freedom, sacrifice, and unity would instill in me a lifelong reverence for our nation. And it worked. That simple shift turned my birthday into something more than personal. It became a patriotic celebration, a reminder that my life was intertwined with the legacy of liberty. Each year, as the flag waved proudly across the country, I felt honored to share my day with the emblem of a nation built on courage and conviction. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Generational loyalty. For generations, American children began their school day with a unifying tradition: standing together, placing their hands over their hearts, and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. This daily ritual was more than a memorized verse. It was a formative moment that instilled respect for the flag, gratitude for freedom, and a shared sense of national identity. As the words "one nation under God, indivisible" echoed through classrooms, students were reminded of the values that bind the United States together: liberty, justice, and unity. The pledge served as a gentle but powerful civic anchor, preparing young minds not only for academic learning but for responsible citizenship. This practice also reinforced the importance of honoring those who sacrificed for the freedoms Americans enjoy. It connected children to the legacy of their country, encouraging reverence for the Constitution and the principles it upholds. In a diverse nation, the Pledge of Allegiance became a common thread, spoken in rural towns and urban centers alike, reminding every student that they are part of something greater than themselves. It was a daily declaration of loyalty, hope, and the enduring promise of the American dream. The tradition of placing an American flagpole at the front of the schoolhouse stands as a visible reminder of the values that shape our nation: liberty, responsibility, and unity. Each morning, as the flag is raised at the start of the day, students and teachers alike are invited to reflect on the freedoms they enjoy and the sacrifices that secured them. The flagpole becomes more than a fixture. It is a daily altar of remembrance where young hearts are formed in gratitude and civic awareness. Its presence at the school's entrance signals that education in America is not just about knowledge, but about character, rooted in the ideals of a republic under God, where every child is taught to honor country, community, and conscience. The pledge and the flag retires. The decline of daily flag rituals and the Pledge of Allegiance in American schools began in the mid-20th century and accelerated in the early 2000s, driven by legal, cultural, and ideological shifts. The tradition of reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and saluting the flag each morning was once a cornerstone of American public education. However, this practice began to change following key legal rulings. In 1943, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in West Virginia State Board of Education v. Barnett that students could not be compelled to recite the pledge, citing First Amendment protections. Later, in 1962, the Engel v. Vitale decision, though focused on school prayer, set a precedent that heightened scrutiny over religious language in public schools, including the phrase, "under God," in the pledge. These rulings did not ban the pledge outright, but opened the door for schools to make it optional or remove it altogether. This opened the door to the rights of illegal immigrants. By the early 2000s, a growing number of school districts began phasing out daily flag rituals due to concerns over inclusivity, religious neutrality, and shifting civic values. Debates intensified around whether such practices promoted patriotism or imposed ideological conformity. Some educators and parents viewed the pledge as a vital civic tradition, while others saw it as outdated or exclusionary. As a result, many schools either made the pledge voluntary, moved it to special occasions, or removed it from the daily routine entirely. Today, while the Pledge of Allegiance remains legally permissible in public schools, its daily recitation is far less common, reflecting broader cultural changes in how patriotism and civic identity are expressed, today mostly socialistic. The gradual removal of the Bible from American classrooms marked a profound cultural and spiritual turning point in the nation's history. Once considered a cornerstone of moral instruction and civic virtue, Scripture was read daily in schools, shaping generations with values rooted in truth, discipline, and personal responsibility. However, beginning in the 1960s, landmark Supreme Court decisions, such as Engel v. Vitale, 1962, and Abington School District v. Schempp, 1963, redefined the role of religion in public education, ruling that state-sponsored prayer and Bible readings violated the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. These rulings, while intended to protect religious freedom, effectively removed the moral compass that had guided American youth for centuries. As biblical instruction faded from the classroom, a vacuum emerged, one increasingly filled by secular ideologies that emphasized collective identity over individual liberty. Over time, this shift contributed to a cultural reorientation towards socialist principles in which the government assumed greater control over education, healthcare, and economic redistribution. The Judeo-Christian ethic of personal accountability and voluntary charity was gradually replaced by enforced equity and state-managed morality. What was once a nation built on covenantal freedom and divine guidance began to mirror systems that prioritized centralized power over spiritual conviction. The removal of the Bible was not merely a legal adjustment, it was a spiritual unraveling that set the stage for the redefinition of American values, institutions, and identity. The way to change a country's direction is to change its youth's mindset. When young hearts and minds are shaped by truth, honor, and personal responsibility, a nation flourishes with integrity and purpose. But when those same minds are influenced by ideologies that reject moral absolutes and blur the lines of right and wrong, the foundation of a free society begins to erode. Education is not neutral. It either reinforces the values that built a nation or replaces them with beliefs that reshape its destiny. To preserve liberty, we must invest in the spiritual and civic formation of our children, for they are the architects of tomorrow's culture, laws, and leadership. The erosion of foundational American traditions, such as the daily recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance, the presence of Bibles in the classroom, and the reverent display of the American flag, has contributed to a profound cultural shift. These practices once instilled a sense of identity, gratitude, and moral clarity in young Americans. They reminded students daily of their freedoms, their responsibilities, and the spiritual heritage that shaped the Republic. But as these rituals were gradually removed, so too was the moral and civic compass that anchored the nation. In their absence, a new ideology emerged, one that often prioritizes collective conformity over individual liberty and emotional affirmation over enduring truth. This woke socialism, as many describe it, redefines justice through the lens of equity enforced by centralized power, rather than personal responsibility and divine guidance. The result is a society increasingly detached from its founding principles, where patriotism is questioned, faith is sidelined, and the flag is no longer a symbol of unity, but of division. To restore the soul of the nation, we must return to the values that once shaped its youth: reverence for God, honor for country, and truth that transcends culture. America stands at a crossroads, not of geography, but of conviction. The symbols that once united us, the American flag and the Constitution, have been sidelined in favor of ideologies that blur truth, dilute freedom, and fracture unity. But the flag still waves, and the Constitution still speaks. It is time to return. We must challenge every citizen, especially the rising generation, to reclaim their allegiance to the flag, not as a relic of the past, but as a living emblem of sacrifice, liberty, and divine providence. To salute the flag is to honor those who bled for freedom. To uphold the Constitution is to defend the framework that preserves it. These are not partisan acts. They are patriotic ones. They are the heartbeat of a republic under God. Let us rise again to teach our children what it means to pledge loyalty, not to a government, but to the principles of liberty and justice. Let us restore reverence in our schools, our homes, and our public squares. The future of this nation depends not on policy alone, but on the character of its people. And character begins with allegiance, to truth, to freedom, and to the enduring covenant written in stars and stripes. Thank you for listening today. Remember to tell others about the Truthstream podcast. Until next time.
You have been listening to the IOM America podcast. Our ministry provides over 2,000 media productions and essays that focus on the believer's identity in Yeshua. Visit our library for more resources at iomamerica.net. We provide all our content at no charge. Consider donating to our ministry to keep it free. Thank you for tuning into our podcast today. Remember to advance the mission of Yeshua by forwarding this content to family and friends.